Welcome to the Move with Tank podcast with your host, Dr. Michael Tancini. He is a doctor of physical therapy, owner of Ground to Overhead Physical Therapy, a strength and conditioning coach, former college athlete, 4-time CrossFit regional athlete, and a national level Olympic weightlifter. On the show, he will cover ways for active individuals and athletes, just like you, to stay healthy and improve their performance without the need of surgery, injections, and pain medication. If you ever have any questions for Dr. Tancini, which you would like answered, send over an email or message through Instagram at drtank_DPT. So without further ado, here's your host, Dr. Tank.
What's up, guys? Dr. Tank here, Dr. Tancini. Welcome to the Move with Tank podcast, my daily body armor. But this is definitely not the daily body armor. This is Vincent Bounds with me, owner over at Myology Sports Massage here in. Do you live in Raleigh? Because I know you operate all the way from like Hillsborough all the way down to like Fuquay Arena, correct? And all the way to like Raleigh.
So we have therapists in Greensboro, and like you said, Fuquay, Raleigh, Cary, Wake Forest. So we're pretty spread out.
Yeah, nice, awesome, man. Well, now do you go by Vincent or Vince? Because I've heard
either way. Is hey you, big guy, whatever, I respond to most anything.
Awesome, man. Well, Vincent, he's been around the Triangle CrossFit scene now for quite some time. I remember back in the day, even prior to me getting into practice, he was doing his thing, and he was at all the competitions, and I had buddies who would go see him, and I've been wanting to connect with him for this podcast for quite some time. Me and him and his therapist, we all kind of work with the same people. Often, too much in healthcare, we see like one person just tries to take over and keep them away from everybody else, and that's not the best care. So, like, if you're listening to this now, and so someone's telling you like they're the only person that you need to go see, or that you should, they're probably lying to you. And because it takes a team, it takes a team effort. And Vince, man, I'm blessed to say that like we've been working as a team now for quite some time, and I'm glad to finally have you on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here, and I look forward to what we're going to talk about, because I'm not sure what we're talking about just yet.
Hey, man, no one can do a better intro to you than I. So can you tell anyone who they're listening to?
Sure. So I've been, like you said, in this community since like 2013, 2014. Been a therapist for 13 years. Been in the sports athlete arena for 7 years. Much like most therapists, I started my career in the relaxation field because that's kind of where the schools feed you into. And so we've been, like I said, at it for 7 years, and I've got right now 7 therapists that work with me. We're spread out all over. I was saying before, we've got some in Greensboro, Fuquay, Holly Springs, Cary, Wake Forest, Durham, and we're always looking. So anybody out there that wants to be a massage therapist in the sports field, let me know.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So now, what led you down the road of starting your?
So when I got started back in 2014, it was early on in the CrossFit realm, and like I really didn't know anything about CrossFit at that point in time. It was something that was very much so more popular, like out west, in California and whatnot, more so than it was on the East Coast. But 13 and 14 was when it was really starting to kick off around here. And I was introduced to it through a former colleague. And it was just one of those things where worked a competition, and it's like, oh my God, if nobody is addressing this avenue of athlete, I need to get on top of this because they need it badly. Because as you know, CrossFitters will beat themselves to a pulp and limp home. So, I mean, that's pretty much, how it got started. It was just happened to get an opportunity to work a competition and recognizing, hey, if I actually put some effort into this, I might be able to do something in this community.
Awesome, man. So now, do you train CrossFit, or do you train personally?
So most of my training personally is more in the strongman field of training. So more of my cardio sucks because I only need 60 seconds of strongman. So I try to do some cross training with like doing more of I don't do the Olympic lifts so much, but the other aspects of CrossFit with kettlebells and box jumps and wall balls and all that good stuff, I do workouts with that periodically just to try and work on my air. But the predominant training is strongman for me.
Man, that's awesome. So where do you train predominantly?
So my main office is here at Goliath Athletics. And so when I get a chance I train out there. They're nice enough to let me keep some strongman equipment here, sandbags and logs and all that good stuff to be able to work out with whenever I get a free chance.
Nice. That's awesome. So like, do you have any like meets coming up or competitions coming up?
No, I mean, I've only competed once, and that was, I lied. I've competed twice. One was a fundraiser, and then once was back in 2018. And competition is a different animal. I don't know that I'm built for it because I was beat up for quite some time after that competition. But I love to train the implements. I love how you have to learn bracing and stabilization just to move those objects. And I think that's something that does get lost in some of the other avenues like CrossFit, where there's a lot of speed and just being quick to do things, and you don't necessarily think about bracing and stabilizing to complete the movement. So you compromise things.
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, like, strongman is such an amazing thing that more people should be training. And I mean, you see it all the time, back pain, right? The clinic, it's probably every day. And,
I mean, between back, shoulders, and ankles. I mean, see that all day, every day.
Yeah, and so it was just yesterday. So someone's exercise program that I gave them consisted of a heavy sandbag carry. Right. And taking that and implement so that we can start to build middle line stability, middle line strength, so that they can functionally be better in their other sport.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
Absolutely. So now, coming out of the pandemic, what's your big training goals? What are you currently working on? Yeah.
So my training goals right now are more towards, I want to compete in this competition called Tactical Games. And so that's pretty much shooting targets meets strongman meets CrossFit. And so it's just something I'm interested in. And I think I could have a lot of fun doing it. So that's kind of the main thing. I just want to have some fun. I don't really get into the heat of things because, well, there are some that have just been blessed with more genetically better muscles than mine. But that's kind of what I'm training for. I've got a couple things I got to work on physically. I just got through, some bursitis in this right shoulder, and it's finally calmed down and getting all that stabilized. And now I'm working on my left ankle. It's trying to act up. So yeah, I got stuff I'm trying to work through, but that's kind of where I'm headed.
Gotcha, man. Awesome. Well, yeah, I've actually looked at those Tactical Games.
Check it out, man.
I have never shot a gun. I looked at it and like some of my clients were like getting kind of freaked out with the whole like political and like social controversies.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a huge stigma around it right now, and there has been for years, but it's more so now than it ever has been. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like getting guns and going out and taking these like classes. And I was like, if I were to get a gun, like I'd have to use it for something other than just keep in my house. And someone told me about the Tactical Games. I was like, oh man, that'd be cool. Like combined in like this shooting of the gun with other areas of fitness. I think it would be super fun.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, how in like a CrossFit competition, people talk about going into that dark place and all that good stuff, and they just kind of black out and just keep moving this, that, and the other. Well, this is something where you can't do that. You have to have your wits about you and your head about you at every second, because you have to know what's where and where you're going and where you're aiming and where your muzzle is pointed and all that good stuff. So you have to. It's very much so ahead of your kind of competition, because you cannot just lose your wits.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, best of luck to you with that, man.
Oh yeah.
So That's later in the year, correct?
They host all across the U.S. throughout the entire year. Like they'll have a couple of different ones down in Fayetteville. But they've got a team one coming up in West Virginia. So they've got them all over the place. It's just a matter of finding one that I can get to when I feel like I'm healthy enough.
And that's awesome. So now, what's your biggest mission with Myology? Now, I guess, so hold on. So like previously, so I'm gonna back up a little bit. Started the company as a wide body, and I've been wanting to ask you this ever since I saw the name change. But why'd you go through that name change from?
It was just a simple difference of opinion. Myself and my previous partner, we just went separate ways and wanted to do different things. So she went and did her thing, and I'm doing mine. That's all it really came down to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, still a great name. Muscle science, right? Study of muscles.
Yep.
So,
that's it.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of shocked that it wasn't already taken when I found it. So.
Yeah, and then, the beauty of it is just amazing, right? And so someone who doesn't even know, has never heard about you, doesn't know who you work with, like they can hear the name and be like, yeah, I know what that person does.
Exactly. If they wanted to look it up, it has a definition. So you have an idea of what we do.
Yeah. So, man, that's awesome. So now, what's your biggest mission and behind the company? So you've grown it. You've helped so many, like thousands of athletes around the triangle. So what's your biggest mission with your practice?
So honestly, the number one mission is to keep helping and supporting the community. And by community, that definition grows every year. We started out as very CrossFit centric, very CrossFit focused, and to the point where a lot of people said, hey, I'm not a member or a CrossFit athlete. Can I still come and see you? And that community has grown bigger and bigger. We're, now dealing with all types of genre of sports and all age levels. From my youngest is an 8-year-old gymnast. And then we've got 60-plus-year-old masters athletes. So, and everything in between. So the biggest thing is supporting the community, helping them keep doing what they're doing. And if I make sure I'm doing what I can for them, then we'll be here for a long time. And that's my biggest mission, is just to be here long enough to keep taking care of people. And along the way, hopefully I can build the team to be bigger, stronger, more intelligent, to kind of carry this thing on when the day comes that I end up retiring, and maybe I can sit back and help manage it, kind of thing. But that's my biggest mission, man, is just to continue to help this community.
That's awesome. So now, off the top of your head, which gyms are you in? So I know you're in quite a few RTP. I know you're down in Fuquay Arena in a few places, up in Goliath, Greensboro. I'm guessing is that like Tracy?
It's Versatile.
No,
Versatile? That's Versatile. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whose spot is that?
That's Allison Paulsing, Kelsey Cruz, and Michael Maria. They all three rotate in that facility. And we also are an Iron Barbell Collective out in Greensboro as well.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So
that's the old Out of Step Barbell Club. Okay.
Gotcha. Awesome, man. So now, over the course of the pandemic, like I know us as a physical therapist, like we were kind of spared by the governor's laws and the COVID stuff. But whenever you guys had to shut down, what were some of the ways which you were still then trying to provide the care that you needed to the athletes that you work with?
So one of the things that we did almost immediately, because of what the massage board was deemed or defining at the time, and that was a target that kept moving as far as what was right, what was wrong, and all that good stuff, because nobody really knew it in the beginning. But we got rid of all of our linens just because nobody knew how the virus could be transferred and stored and this, that, and the other. So we got rid of all the linens. We got vinyl tabletop covers for all the tables, and just that way we could spray everything down with alcohol, make sure it was 100% sanitized. We frequently made social media posts reassuring our community that we're scrubbing floors, that we're wiping everything down, we're cleaning tools. The things that we were already doing, but we just wanted to make sure that they were comfortable knowing that we are on top of our game to be even more aware of what we're doing. And that was the biggest thing. I saw a lot of good feedback just from reassuring people, hey, we take this seriously. We're doing what we're always been doing, but we do take this seriously, and we just want to let you know that we're taking it seriously.
Awesome, man. So now, was there a point in time there to when like you just had to shut down your office completely?
So we started with a voluntary shutdown about mid-March, just because, hey, we know this thing's happening. We know there might be some issues. We're going to voluntarily shut down for 2 weeks just to make sure that we're keeping you guys safe and therapists safe and that kind of thing. And then shortly into that voluntary shutdown, that's when the mandatory shutdown. And then we were mandatory shutdown for 2 months and didn't start back until the end of May, 1st of June timeframe. And so, yeah, everybody just was sitting at home, kind of getting education, doing things to improve themselves, getting some rest, waiting for that word to be able to go back to work.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, man, I was so happy to see you guys back at it. Like, when we look at the populations we serve, it's the people who are out there trying to better themselves. You know, they're going to the gyms, like they're eating well, they're trying to sleep, they're working out multiple days a week. And when we look at that, you guys are a pretty fundamental part of helping people stay healthy and stay in the gym so that they can continue to improve themselves in all the other facets. COVID shut you guys out of the gyms, shut them out of the gym. And when that's the place that we all needed to actually be at, was at the gyms, being able to continue to improve ourselves, build our health, take the precautions, but at that same time, to continue to not only build health and build wellness, but also then to build more of a robust immune system.
Absolutely. There was a lot of people that suffered quite a bit during that time because they couldn't get their outlet, they couldn't get their physical activity, and then most importantly, their mental health wasn't able to be taken care of as well by being able to get out and get that blood circulation and stay active.
Absolutely. So now, as you guys opened back up, I've seen it on my end, but what are some of the trends that you've seen athletes or that you've seen with athletes as they've started to get back in the gyms and get back to previous training?
Well, I mean, one thing about CrossFit is still the largest athlete clientele that we service. And the one thing about them, they don't stop training, whether it's a pandemic or not. And at least when they're in a gym, they have a coach to help them warm up, help them make sure they're keeping proper form and all that good stuff, and then to help them cool down. When they're at home, it's go out, your warm-up's the first round. There is no cool down until you get to the sofa and you sit down to do whatever else you're going to do the rest of the day. Then you're cooling down. And so there was just a lot of beat up bodies and a lot of anxious bodies that were beat up because they just wanted to go do something again. So it was a hodgepodge of stuff. It's because everybody's trying to do everything they could as soon as they were allowed to do it.
Yeah. And with someone who works with the body, injuries tend to come on when we have a bunch of volume super fast and our body's not used to it.
When you're in class or when you work out or whenever you're doing whatever your training is on a regular basis, your body is building up capacity. And when you haven't been doing it, and then you're like, oh, I used to do this at this pace or this speed or this weight or whatever the case may be. You're like, yeah, I was doing that 6 months ago. I can do that again. Well, your body's not ready for it. That capacity that it had has now diminished, and now you're trying to do it again, and, well, then you hurt yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So now, after everything opened back up, so you guys opened back up, last July, correct?
So we were open June 2020.
Yeah. So now, how have things been since then? So have you guys gotten back into all your previous gyms and all your previous spots?
What COVID did end up doing. So before COVID, we did a lot of traveling, myself included. We were always traveling to gyms within the areas that we kind of work because all my people are kind of in regions. I was in North Raleigh, had some people in South Raleigh, so on and so forth. And what COVID allowed us to do is build up our home offices more so. And so we really built up the pattern of people coming into our offices versus waiting for us to come to their particular facility. So our offices got super, super busy. And so that meant that we couldn't go back to all the places that we were traveling to previously. And unfortunately, some of those places that we traveled to succumbed to COVID and had to close down. So there were 4 or 5. My lights do the same thing. Yeah, but so some of the places we went to, they ended up having to close down, unfortunately. But as things have picked back up, as places have opened up with more confidence and vaccinations and all that good stuff, we are trying to get back out to some of the facilities. But the good and the bad of it is that our offices are 100 times more busier than they were before. So now we have to nurture that. And so that keeps us from getting out to travel as much, which is also where the aspect of, like I was saying before, if you got any massage therapists looking to get in the athletic realm, let me know, because I have needs that I need to fill for our community. And that's part of it, is just getting people back out to remote facilities.
That's awesome, because it's such a, I've told people this, in just different circles that I've talked with, but the CrossFit and triathlete and endurance athlete and the strength athletes and the strongmen, they're an underserved population. So people don't think of athletes like that, but the fact is there aren't many people out there who understand the way athletes push themselves, and
right.
think professional athletes and these ball sport athletes. But when it comes into it, the majority of the world is being they're being athletic, they're athletes. And what you guys do to help serve them so that they can not only pursue their athletic endeavors, but so that they can just be a better human in life is so crucial.
Yeah, there's so many genre of sports that our athletes do that are not mainstream sports. It's not high school, whatever. It's not college, whatever. It's not professional, whatever. It's strongman, it's triathlons, it's Spartan races, it's all these other adjunct competitions. And there's not a lot of people taking care of those athletes, and we're happy to be there to take care of them.
Absolutely. So now your office is up at Goliath, and that's in North Raleigh, correct?
Yeah, my office is, that's correct.
So now in your different regions, so here down, let's say Lake area, Apex area. So who would people come to if they're down here?
So we have in Cary, we have an option to go to CrossFit Brave, which is right there off of US 1 in Tryon, I believe it is. And then in Fuquay, we have Robert Hicks, who takes care of Shoefly CrossFit, Astis CrossFit, and he also goes to 919 Spine in Holly Springs over there at the Athletic Lab facility.
Awesome. And then what about when you go into Durham, Chapel Hill, Hillsborough?
So we recently had a therapist that left to go do their own thing, and that's a position we're trying to backfill right now. But typically facilities that we work with out there, and we'll get back to, our RTP CrossFit, Bull City CrossFit, Broadreach out in Hillsborough. And those are ones that we'll get back to serving once we can backfill the position. But in the interim, coming into Raleigh or something like that is going to be the next best option.
Gotcha, man. Because so I personally work with people from Hillsborough all the way down to Broadreach, all the way down to Fuquay Arena, your Triangle Cross, Astis, Shoefly.
Contrivance. Yeah, CrossFit Contrivance is out there as well. Yep.
Exactly. So, man, awesome. So now, what are the next steps for you guys? Where's some places you guys are going to be at in the future?
So, as far as competitions go, we have the Bull City Brawl, which is going to be a Bull City CrossFit this Saturday, which is was it 17th or 21st? I can't remember the dates right. But that's this Saturday. And then in August, we have the Sua Sponte Games out in the Raleigh CrossFit Sua Sponte. In September, we have the Goddess Games, which is an all women's competition up at Wendell CrossFit. Or First in Flight. I'm sorry, not Wendell CrossFit. First in Flight CrossFit in Wendell. And then we have the Shoefly Liftoff in October down at Fuquay Arena.
I'll be there with you.
Oh, sweet. Fantastic. And then there's one more that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. I know I am.
Nice. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen you guys at so many competitions, and I knew you guys had to be going to some here in the future as finally things are starting to get cranked back up.
Yeah.
So
it's so nice to get back at it. It's so nice to get back at it.
Yeah, man. It's like, I know, like I feel so blessed to work with the people that I do. Like, we get to work with super cool athletic people who are super nice people. They want to get better. They want to, do what's needed to improve themselves. And like when I go to the office every day, like it makes me super happy just to interact with the people that we do. And I'm guessing that's similar to you because we work with the same people.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's the people, like I said, it's the community that makes it. And it's like one of the things I try to instill into my therapists. There are a lot of therapists, a lot of clinicians out there that are just kind of trying to chase that dollar. That seems to be the more important thing for them. But if you focus on your community, if you invest your time, your attention, your knowledge into your community, look out for what's best for them, everything else is going to fall in place. So if you just do that properly, you don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, man, that's so true. That is so true. So now if someone's listening to this right now and they're like, okay, so I live in the Triangle, I need some body work done. How can they get in touch with you?
The easiest way is through our website, myologysportsmassage.com. That will link you to our scheduling software, which is PT Everywhere. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not. It's a local software, which is why we use it. But it'll take you straight into our booking software. There's a little green button right on the front page that says Book Now. And that's the easiest way because it'll show you all the next available appointments and who they're with. And you can sort by therapist, sort by location. It's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. And there's also an app you can download for PT Everywhere that'll let you do that as well.
Awesome. So now I'll make sure to put all that in the notes. And then do you guys have an Instagram and a Facebook I could tag in there too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So Instagram is Myology Sports Massage, and same for Facebook. They're both at Myology Sports Massage. And on Instagram, if you have a favorite therapist of ours that you like to work with and whatnot, all of our therapists have their own individual Myology pages. So the handle will be Myology, whatever the therapist's name is. So like say Robert Hicks, for example, his will be Myology. So please follow them, check them out, and keep up with what they're doing.
Awesome, man. Thanks. So now, if you could give everyone listening to this right now, like one big key of advice on like how to keep their bodies healthy, how to continue going in and doing your thing and going in and really just like thriving, what's that one piece of advice you would give them?
Take your time. Don't rush it. That goes for personal. That goes for fitness. Why not? Just take your time. It'll come. Just be consistent with it. Recover yourself. Make sure you're getting your sleep. Make sure you're getting your nutrition, and come in, with a fresh mind. Leave everything at the door. Don't bring it into your workout. It's just a distraction at that point. But yeah, just take your time.
Awesome, man. Man, that's so crucial, right? Just being intentional, playing the long game, and taking it step by step, and just making sure that you flip all the rocks along the path so that
absolutely,
you can really get where you need to be. And sometimes you trip and fall and get a little bit banged up, and that's when you and all of your therapists are there to help these athletes along the way. Same on my end.
Yeah, same for you. These athletes are going to always need some level of care, whether that falls into my lane or the myology's lane of helping them out, or whether it falls into your lane of helping them out, or whether it falls into some other clinician's lane. They're always going to need someone to help them. We just have to be ready to talk to them and treat them as best as we possibly can with the most information that we have available.
Absolutely. Hey, Vince, man, thank you so much for coming on today. And I've been wanting to connect now for years, and glad we finally did. And man, I'm looking forward to crossing paths here in the upcoming future. You at a few of these competitions, and
absolutely. Hey, if you're at Bull City this weekend, come and stopping by and say hey.
Yeah, man. Will do. We actually have one of my athletes is actually multiple athletes. I think I got at least 4 or 5 going out there this weekend.
Okay.
So I may stop by. I've got a clinic. I'm at a burn boot camp down in Chapel Hill. So
okay, gotcha.
Doing a clinic down there. So I'll probably miss a lot of it. But hey man,
well, if your people need anything, just tell them to come by and see us. We'll be happy to take care of them.
Oh, definitely, man. So everyone, Vincent Bounds, Myology Sports Massage here in the Triangle, and then all the way down to Greensboro. If you're looking for a set of clinicians who knows what you do, and they know that you're an athlete, and you're looking for more of a athletic-based bodywork experience instead of just some of the run-of-the-mill chains that you tend to find on a lot of corners and a lot of shopping centers, Myology's the place for you, right? They're gonna know what you do. They're gonna know what the snatch is. They're gonna know what the clean and jerk is. They're gonna understand why you love running those 100K races. And so, Vince, thank you so much for coming on. And
absolutely, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone, this is Dr. Tancini, Dr. Tank. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
Okay, guys, thanks for listening to the podcast today. I hope you found the content useful, and I hope it helps you avoid an unneeded surgery or an unneeded injection in the future. Now, in practice, my goal is to save 1 million active individuals from the unneeded surgeries, injections, and pain meds that they don't need, while helping them stay active and performing the activities that they love to do. Now, guys, I cannot reach that many people all by myself. I really need your help. So if you like what you heard, please share this podcast with your friends, with your families, or with anyone who you feel really needs to hear it. By doing so, you may just save that person from an unneeded surgery or injection that they really do not need. If you're not following me yet on social media, find me on Instagram at drtank_DPT and on Facebook at Ground to Overhead Physical Therapy. Thanks for listening to the show today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you guys here again next time on the Move with Tank podcast.